Hey, YouTube. Okay, let me go and grab my Facebook peeps. Hold on. Child, we got to be the whole camera crew. Oh, hold on. You were fine up there. Let's fix y'all down here. Just want to lower it a little bit. Hey, YouTube. Okay, so we're going to be talking about the power of a consultation today. Okay. Hey, Facebook. Okay, so hey, Facebook family. So, y'all, in case y'all see me, y'all over here on YouTube and y'all on Facebook, I'm going to try to pick YouTube up, sit y'all on my lap, put my leg up so I can hold my phone. If my leg gets numb, I'll put it down. We're going to be moving back and forth. So anyway, so if y'all see me doing this today, it's only because I think I'm cute because I got my hair done. Okay, so excited. Who am I? I'm Pastor Garlinda. I'm the CEO of Launch It 30 Days to Greatness, Six-Figure Success with Biblical Principles. And so I wanted to come to you all today. I'm going to try to hold YouTube in my hand, and so it seems like it's semi-straight on both sides. Wanted to come to you all today so I could teach you that the devil is in the details, honey. So no glory to the devil, but the devil is in the details. And what do I mean by that? How important is it to give a great buyer consultation, seller consultation, business consultation? I wanted to go live about 30 minutes ago, but transparency moment. I got my hair done and got in the car, and I could tell one of my eyelashes was loose, right? So I pulled the eyelash off thinking I had my regular, like I had my glue in my purse. And I didn't. So then when I called Rashida back, who had just done my hair, all she had was hair glue. I was like, the blood. I'm not using hair glue on my eyelash. I already don't hardly have any lashes, right? Minus those I paid for. And I was like, okay, so I had to run to Family Dollar, grab me some glue for my eyelashes. Hey, Prophetess Virginia. Hey, Dana. Oh, thank you, Dana. So I said, y'all, if y'all see me doing this today, it's because I think I'm cute, right? So I had to go glue my eyelash back on, and then I had to make coffee. We had to take care of all the important things before we could come over here and share what thus saith the Lord. Okay, so I just want to be transparent. Then I had to set up my studio. I'm going to show you all when I say studio, what I'm talking about, because too many business owners overthink the process of getting started. Okay. I want you to just launch, right? Launch it. That's the back of our book. That's not what we're talking about today, but it's Luke 5:4. The Lord told Peter, put out into deep water and let down your net for a catch. What does that mean, preacher? Go back out there. Go back out into the same place where you were just fishing, the same place you had been all night in the night season, the same place and things you had attempted before. And you will wonder, well, God, and he told God, well, Jesus, we've been fishing all night. But the Lord said, put down and go out into deep water, meaning go further out. Let down your net for a catch. He was guaranteeing and telling Peter that he was going to catch something, right? So Peter said, okay, at thine will. We all know the story, what happened, right? They put down the nets, the boats began to sink, and I always jokingly say they were going to drown Jesus. We know that wasn't going to happen. They had to call over help. So I'm going to show you all the setup that I have in my office when we get off of here, because sometimes I feel like we think things have to be perfect before we start, right? I have worked from home, from a home office for the last since 2014, maybe. What is that? 9 years? 9 years work from a home office. If I was in Wilmington, I worked from my car. When I was selling real estate, selling beach houses down in Wilmington, I would work from my car. I worked from the coffee shop. I worked from an open house. I worked from wherever I needed to work to build what God was telling me to build. I did not have an office from 2014 until 2022, the end of last year, when God told me to go get a space. Right? So we can build six-figure businesses and successful businesses anywhere. Why? Because we all know how to do hard things. We are the kingdom. We're the kingdom of God. Glory to God. So I set out that to say that this is a storage room in the back of my space that was really nice. And I was like, oh, honey, this is nice. So when you see the green wall, this is at Fayetteville State Bronco Square. They had this black thing. This is not the point of what I'm teaching. I don't even know why I'm sharing it. But anyway, don't think everything has to be perfect. There was this black box that set out that was the networking system for the entire shopping center. And I was like, Faye would say, y'all gotta move that, right? Because that means that if the internet goes out somewhere else, they would constantly be accessing my office. And it was pulling a lot of electricity that Bronco love Fayetteville State, but they weren't paying for it. So they moved it out, put the green wall up, and I used this one little storage room. It's not little, but you can put a desk and chair in here. And I made it. I told my husband, this is going to be a studio. This is going to be where we do lives, right? We're going to paint one of the walls pink so we can flip the room around and do something different. Don't overthink it. Use your home, use your office, launch out, put out into deep water, stop making up excuses. Everything don't have to be perfect. And speaking of which, we're talking about today how having a buyer consultation can save you money, save you a headache. It can add value to your business. What are you talking about, preacher? So whenever I came into real estate, I did not have experience in selling real estate, right? So what did that mean? Let me just pull my sleeve up right quick. That meant that I had to be better than the next person, or I had to be better than the next person, number one, because I didn't have experience. I was new. So that meant that I had to seek out greater knowledge, but I also had to be more detailed than the next person because I didn't exactly know what I was doing 14 years ago, right? I had sales experience. Oh, the other reason I was late, I went to make some coffee. Yeah, I'm so hungry. I'm sorry. I was hungry. So coffee will do for now. So I didn't have sales experience. So I was like, okay, what can I do to set myself apart where I can have a greater understanding of what people are looking for, what they desire, what they need, and what they want. And then that means that I'm less likely to make as many mistakes, right, as I would make if I didn't know exactly what they wanted. So I had worked in retail for a long time in my younger years, right? So that meant in retail, we had to do what? Suggestive sell. We had to upsell. McDonald's was my very first job, one of my favorite jobs, right? Minus all the free food I was giving away. That was prior to salvation. I repent now in advance, McDonald's, for stealing, right? So, so we had to upsell. So it's two things. I hope I don't forget to go back and tell you that, but let's talk about upselling after we finish this. So in having an upsell, what did that mean? That meant that I had to know what the client wanted. I had to know the products. I had to know the services like the back of my hand, right? So what I realized is, okay, how am I going to get more buyers if I don't have a client base, which in real estate starting out, I didn't. Whatever your product and service is, insert there, right? Hey, Glenda, hey, Dana, hey, Virginia. So whatever the service is, I needed to put together a really great consultation so that I would have an understanding of what the buyer wanted. So I would have a greater understanding of what the seller was looking to do in selling their home. If I was selling weight loss products, right? As you all know, I have a weight loss brand now. We have a hair care brand. People always ask me when I sleep. Yeah, I sleep. I'm just organized with how I promote the businesses. I don't overthink promoting. I put it out there when I feel like I want to put it out there. We'll talk about that on another day. Maybe we'll talk about it today. Just depends. So when I was new in products, whether I was selling makeup, whether I was selling skincare, whether I was selling weight loss products, whether I was selling real estate, whether I was selling insurance, I'm always going to do a consultation, right? Coaching services. Nobody is a coach and doesn't ask questions, right? Whoever asks the most questions is going to win. Whoever asks the most questions is going to have a great understanding, or a greater understanding of what their client is looking for. So they're less likely to sell them something they don't want and don't need. Yes or yes, right? So what gave me the idea to think about this to share this with you all is I was thinking, okay, Lord, how can you gain clients, but how can you also gain ground? How can you have greater influence, right, in your market of whatever that it is you're selling or whatever you're doing over your competition or your perceived competition? Because what do I share with you all? You wake up with your competition, right? You're your only competition. I'm not even concerned with what people are doing out there in the market, right? So what does that look like? So you need to know your products like the back of your hand, right? You need to know your services like the back of your hand. What does that mean? That means that and then you need to use them, right? So if we're talking weight loss, don't we need to be losing weight or having had lost weight? If we're talking about money, shouldn't we have some money? If we're talking about I can help somebody else make money, shouldn't we have some money saved up? Shouldn't we be making money on a consistent basis? Yes. Right? If we say we sell makeup and skincare and cosmetics, shouldn't we, if we're going to go live and be in the public and talk about it now at home, that's a different story. But if we're going to be on live and talking about it, shouldn't we have on makeup and lipstick? If we sell jewelry, shouldn't we have the jewelry on? If we sell coaching services, shouldn't we be educating people? Right. So what I did was when I started selling real estate, I was like, okay, Lord, I don't know as much as everybody else. And the worst thing that you can do is be this is what happens, right? Let me go back. So I'll have clients call me, let's just use real estate as an example, and say, I want to buy a house, right? I had a realtor. Now, before I continue to let that conversation go forward, I asked them, are you under agency, right? So that y'all may not need to know that, but just know, because I know there's some realtors that'll be listening and they'll be like, oh, Garland, you violate agency law. I asked them, did you sign an agency agreement? No. Okay, so if they tell me they didn't sign an agency agreement, I don't immediately go like, well, what happened between you and that realtor? Because there are some great realtors out here, and I'm not here to dog out my counterparts, right? What happened between you and the realtor? Why didn't it work out? Why do you feel the need to seek out and find another realtor? Because a lot of times I want to send them back to that person. I don't want to take somebody else's client unless they're adamant they don't want to work with the person anymore. I try to send them back because that's ethics, right? So they may say they just were showing me stuff I didn't want. That's the biggest complaint. They were taking me in areas I didn't want to live. They were showing me houses I didn't want, even after I explained to them what they want. What I wanted, right? So how many times in business, live longer, if you hadn't heard it yet, do you hear people say, I expected this, but I got that? Even ourselves, I wanted this, I said I wanted this, but this is what I got, and now I'm not happy, right? But when you do a great business consultation, no matter what your business is, even in ministry, how can we tie it to ministry? If someone says they want counseling on what? Let's do a consultation first before you say, I want marriage counseling or I want deliverance ministry counseling. I'm making that up, right? Before someone says they want grief counseling, we need to have a good understanding of what it is they're actually asking for. Because sometimes people are not good at expressing themselves. They're not good at saying what it is that they want. They know because they have a visualization, but they don't necessarily know how to break it down where somebody else can figure out exactly what it is that they're talking about, right? So I also realized that most people in most fields are not doing a buyer consultation, a seller consultation, any type of business consultation. Hey, Erica. So if we're not consulting people before providing the service, we're doing them a disservice. It's almost like malpractice, right? Business malpractice. Well, why am I using such a strong word? Because if somebody's going to invest in us with their hard-earned money, they expect to know, and they should know, the good, the bad, the ugly, the expectation. We should all set the expectation. So by doing a good business consultation when you're getting ready to get started with a client, no one's confused about where we're going. Okay. So what I would do, let's just use real estate as an example. And I'm going to talk about some other products and services too, right? So of how you can do a good business consultation. I created a questionnaire, and I did it. It was a 2-page questionnaire. And and I want you to do this for your business. Create a questionnaire. Hey, Kevin, fellow realtor. Oh, you rock. Hey, Teresa. So with the questionnaire, I said, what would be important to me if I was buying a product or service, right? What's important to me? And then I took some of the complaints customers had or some of the concerns they had, and I created a questionnaire from that. Example. Okay, what is your timeline? I don't care what your business is, what it is you're selling. You could be selling widgets, right? What is the timeline of their purchase? Because that's going to tell me that's going to tell me how to move forward with them, right? Because a lot of times we think that people are ready to make a buying decision, but we don't even know where they are in the decision-making process. To keep that simple, what that means is if somebody just started looking for a house online and they've not yet seen a house in person, physically in person, 9 times out of 10, thank you, it's God, you're so sweet. 9 times out of 10, if they just started looking online, they're about 6 months out to a year, depending on how long they've been looking online and what sites they're looking on. If they're riding around in the car, but they haven't yet gone in and they haven't yet called a realtor, and we're the first realtor they're calling, they're about 90 days out. They're serious now because they're at least riding around and they're calling on the signs that are in the yard. But the minute that they walk into an open house and they meet and normally they're going to work with the first realtor they meet, 87% of the time, well, I say 78% of the time, if someone walks in an open house or they meet Kevin or myself first in person, they're going to work with us. right? So it's a great chance that you just need to be where you're supposed to be, right? So once a client walks into an open house, or once we show them a house, they're about 30 to 60 days out. So if someone's calling me from a sign, they're not the same person that's messaging me online. If someone's messaging me online saying, hey, I'm thinking about buying a house, I've been doing this long enough now to be able to cater and know, okay, they're this timeline out, unless they tell me different. So when you're putting together your questionnaires of your business consultations for whatever service you provide, you want to know if they're in the process of making a buying decision. And I'll ask them, how long have you been thinking about that? Oh, about 2 years, right? Have you gotten pre-approved? If they're not pre-approved, they're probably about 6 months, maybe 90 days to 6 months out, because they haven't even talked to a lender, right? So we need to know where our client is. Let's say that you're selling weight loss services. Well, who don't think about losing weight every day unless you're Kevin or my husband, right? Who are naturally in shape all the time. Don't they suck, right? Right? Or Erica, right? Who doesn't think about, and all of y'all may be in shape. I see their names on the screen. But so many people think about losing weight and they want to inquire about products, but how long have they been thinking about losing the weight? How committed are they to losing weight? What have they already tried to lose weight? What medications are they on? Do you see where I'm going with this? If somebody's looking for skincare products, because I have people inquire about skincare and makeup from our line, and I'll say, okay, what are you currently using? If they start naming drugstore brands mixed with network marketing brands, then I know that they're not using a system. Right. And then I'll ask them, what type of skin do you have? How has your skin changed? What are your goals for your skin? What do you want to look like? What do you like? What colors do you like? Are you in the warm family? Are you in the cool family? I ask a lot of questions. Why? Because I want to be able to make recommendations based on the products and services that I provide. I can't do that if I haven't asked you questions. Right. So all the time when we did hair and people would come in and say, I want to get my hair done and I want it to look like this, but your hair looks like that. Well, we can't say that, right? I can't say, well, there's no way in God's green heaven that your hair is going to do that. I couldn't say that, right? I wouldn't have any clients. But what I could say is, okay, I see the idea of what you're looking for, but based on your hair type and texture, that's not going to work. But let me recommend this. I'm the expert. Right. So when we're doing a business consultation, a buyer consultation, a seller consultation, or whatever it is, we add value. They're going to be like, oh, this person knows what they're talking about. You know how they're going to know that we don't know what we're talking about? We don't ask questions. If we don't ask questions, they're going to know, oh, this person don't know what they're doing, right? Because they should be out. If I'm the salesperson, I should be out question asking the client. And I'll give you another example. So Marvin and I had gone to a local bank. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm so hungry. And when we went to the local bank, we wanted to talk to the guy about a loan for building affordable housing, right? So construction to perm loans. So when we went to talk to the local bank, I already didn't really want to work with the local bank. I'll be honest and say that, and I won't name who they are, because I felt like, I don't know. I just felt like it was going to be a challenge, right? But listening to my honey bunny, because he wants to do things locally, he's like, let's go there first. The guy drives from out of town, so they don't even have a local representative. So he has to drive an hour and a half away. And he gets to our appointment and he's like, okay, well, how can I help? No information, he's not writing anything down. I have paper out. I have pen out. I'm talking about, if you're just joining us, hey, Paula, we're talking about how to do a successful business consultation. So we're at the bank. We're talking to the guy about what our goals are. We're talking to him about what we want to do. I've taken my tax. He didn't ask me to bring anything. I took my tax returns. I took my business bank statements. I'm ready. I'm ready to do business, right? He shows up from an hour and a half away, sitting there, and it was like pulling teeth. Having a conversation with him, it was strenuous. And how many of y'all know there's nothing worse than when you're talking to someone and you're having to carry the conversation and you all are doing business? It's painful, right? So at some point, he was like, I said, well, I don't have any more questions. And we literally sat there almost in silence, like crickets. Right. So as business professionals and us being the experts that God has called us to be in the marketplace and as kingdom entrepreneurs, we've got to know how to do a really great consultation. Right. So I would have, even if he would have only had 5 questions written down for me, that would have made me feel more confident in his ability to provide me with the service and or see if I could get the construction loan, rather than him letting me carry the conversation. And I'm the client. I don't know anything about your bank. I don't know anything about the services you provide other than you're local. Right. So I want you all to think about, if you're not already doing a business consultation, you're not already doing a buyer consultation, and you don't have any formal questions written out for your client, write some questions out. Right? Write some questions out. Ask them, what are your goals? Ask them about themselves, right? I do forward with everybody: family, occupation, recreation, and dreams, right? Forward stands for family. O is occupation, the R is recreation, and the D is dreams. And I start that way to break the ice, right? I just, how's your family? How are you doing today? And I come with great energy, right? There's another thing that's not worse than doing business with somebody and they want to do business and you're getting ready to spend money with them. Y'all got to take my shoes off. And you're getting ready to spend money with them. And it's like talking to a doorknob. Ooh, sorry. The shoe hit the light. And it's like talking to a doorknob. We got to bring our energy. So we're talking about creating a great buyer consultation. So the first thing I ask the client after we do forward, what's your timeline? What's your buying timeline? Like, I know you've been thinking about this project or thinking about this product or thinking about getting that done. How soon do you want to do it? That's going to tell you their motivation and whether or not you should spend time with them, right? Because how many times have we invested time with people, spent time with people, only to get to the end of the conversation and they say a couple of things? Well, I don't have the money for that right now. I'm going to have to think about it. I need to pray about it. You already prayed about it. That's why we're on the phone, right? But you can't say that, right? Or they say, okay, well, I'm using this right now. Let me use all this up first, or let me do this first, or let me do that first. There's always this objection that if we would have known their timeline up front, we maybe wouldn't have spent all that time with them. So the second thing I ask people is, what are your non-negotiables, right? Hey, Coach Michelle, thank you. Right, I told everybody when they got on here, if you see me doing this, I think it's because I think I'm cute today, right? So I ask people, what are your non-negotiables? Hey, Lakita, I'm so sorry. You said we have to get together and I haven't done that yet. Forgive me. We'll do that. I don't know when, but we will do that. And I asked you to forgive me because I didn't reply. So forgive me for that. So what are your non-negotiables? If we're talking a house, what are some things that if this house doesn't have it, you don't want it? Right? If this house doesn't have it, you don't want it. Why am I asking that? Because I want to know what they want and I want to know how they, hey, Peggy, I want to know what's important to them. But first, I want to know what they don't like. Because if I know what they don't like, I'm not going to send them what they don't want. Right? So when Marvin and I were looking for a house, I got on his nerves. It took us a really long time to find a house, and I am a realtor, right? The reason being is because if I walk into a house and then you can go left, but you can't go right, there's a wall right here, I'm not buying it. Right? If you walk into the house and you can't go left, but you can turn right, I'm not buying it. Why? Because I wanted an opening on each side. I wanted it to have a circular flow, like air going through it, right? I wanted it to walk in a circle and for it to connect and make sense. I didn't want all these walls. I didn't want it to feel boxy because our current house at that time was like that, right? It was just, I wanted a fireplace, whether I use it or not. Right. So what was the other thing I wanted? I wanted an open kitchen, even though I wasn't sure I did because I hate washing dishes. That's my dirty little secret. None of your business, but I hate cleaning up. Nevertheless, I do it. Right. And so I wanted an open kitchen so I could be a part of watching the TV instead of yelling down the stairs. What y'all looking at? What y'all watching, right? What you looking for? We go. I don't know why that little meme stuck in my head just then, right? So I want to know if somebody's buying something from me, what are your non-negotiables? If somebody's buying makeup from you and you sell skincare and color cosmetics, what colors do you love? Are you a cool girl? Are you a warm girl? Are you neutral tones? Do you like browns? Right? Do you like reds, burgundies? Peggy sells jewelry. So if someone's looking for jewelry, do you like gold? Do you like silver? Do you like rose gold? Do you like copper? Right? Because if I begin to, instead of saying, hey, I got this, or hey, I got that, instead of knowing what it is that people want or what they're looking for, I should be providing a consultation. I know that Lakita sells Spectrum services, right? So she's going to come out, she's going to go to homes or go to businesses if she does commercial, and she's going to find out, what do they already have? What do you like about it? What don't you like about it? She's going to figure out what she can do to improve upon what they already have. And so as business owners, sometimes I feel like we don't always do that well. right? And so that's what the Lord wanted me to share with you today is how to create a great business consultation, because it's going to do several things, but the one thing it's going to do is going to add value, right? People are going to know that you care because you're asking them a whole bunch of questions about them. I ask questions ad nauseum, right? And if it's just the wife I'm talking to, well, what's important to your husband? If it's just the husband I'm talking to, what's important to your wife? Because happy wife, happy life, right? You're welcome for the plug. You can put your information in the comment section too if you want to. What's important to your kids? Do you have a dog? Is it an indoor dog? Is it an outdoor dog? Do you need a fence? Right? Do you need a garage? And so, depending on what I'm talking about, if we're talking about hair care products, right? We were blessed to do a hair care consultation with one of my friends that's on here now. And when we were talking to her about her hair, we asked her, multiple questions. Why? Because we want to be able to refer and recommend the product that works for her, not the product that we want her to have. Right? See, what a lot of times people will do is they'll talk to you about their most expensive product, right? They won't talk to you about the least expensive product because then they won't make as much money. But integrity says, I want you to have what you want, right? I would have people call me sometimes that were approved for a lot of money, but they're like, but I only want to be down here, right? I only want to be at this price point. And what would happen is, okay, listen, this is the price point you want to be in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you things in that price point. I already know when I do it, they're going to hate it. Because based on everything that they described to me, you're so sweet. Thank you. That's why I said, I think I'm cute. Thank you. Rashida did it for me. Based on what the client may describe to me, I already know it either doesn't exist or exists in the range midway of where they're approved for, right? So, but I don't want to be disrespectful of what you told me your price was. So I'll send them stuff in their price range and they'll be like, oh God, they're so small. Oh God, they're hideous. Oh God, I don't like them. I'm like, I know, right? But I want to be honest and tell you that that's what you said you wanted, right? And then I'll say, okay, can I show you what you want based on what you described to me? Yes. Okay. And then immediately we find their home. I don't have to show 30 and 40 houses. I don't have to show 10 and 20 houses because why? I did a consultation. I could normally sell my clients the first 3 houses. Why? Because I've taken a long enough time to sit down with them and find out what their needs are. So as a kingdom entrepreneur, as a marketplace minister, we owe it to people to do a consultation. I don't care if you're selling jewelry. How do I know that if I don't ask you, do you have any allergies? Did I sell you a pair of earrings and your ear blows up like Dumbo? Right? How do I know? I used to sell jewelry. It was my first love. And then Marvin made me break up with jewelry, and here we are. I'm just kidding. Y'all, okay, I'm coming, right? The internet was trying not to let me be great. So when I would sell costume jewelry, which was my first love, when I would make jewelry, which was my first love, people are allergic to nickel, right? Some people are allergic to gold. Some people are allergic to silver. Some people have all these different allergies. And you may think, well, it's just jewelry. Yeah, but jewelry has metals and metals react with the skin. So some people turn green from different metals, even if it's real jewelry, right? So it's important that no matter what your product or service is, to do a consultation. So I want to challenge you to put together 10 questions to ask your next client, right? And you may say, well, that seems like a whole lot. But Kevin and I, if he's still on here, we have clients that call us from all over the world. Without exaggeration, my client right now that just closed last week is in Germany. They've never seen the house they're buying in person. I have sold so many people houses they never saw in person. I've sold houses for people that are in Korea or Japan, and the house is here, and they have to trust me to sell it, to get it cleaned up, to get it sold, to maintain the lawn, to get it closed, to get their packet to them in Japan and Korea. They never see the house again before they leave, right? So that takes trust, right? So if you want to build trust with people, how do you do that? You ask them a lot of questions and you make it about them with them. What's in it for me? Make it about them, right? I don't care what your service is. So I want to pick a business. Let's say it's coaching, right? Because I do have a coaching business. I do have a coaching program. Shameless plug, girlindaprice.com. I have an e-coaching program for those of you that want to coach on your own time, but you still want to go through the same thing a live coaching with me would do, and it's less expensive. That's on my website. Or if you want to coach one-on-one, you can reach out to me and coach one-on-one. Just my shameless little commercial, right? So let's say that you're a coach. I'm not going to start coaching anybody without having an hour-long discussion with them about, hey, what are you doing? What do you want to do? What's important to you? How are you feeling? Why are you doing this? What did the Lord say? Why is God leading you into this? Who is your target market? Like, I don't immediately start coaching, start with week 1. Hey, this is what we're going to do. I give them a whole bunch of homework. I give them their homework. This is what you got to put together in order for us to work together, because I want to know that you're committed. Right. So you want to know that your clients and that your customers are committed. I've had plenty of times where, well, I'm lying. I don't want to say that. I don't want to tell that lie. I've had plenty of fellow brokers that the minute, let's say Lakita called and said, hey, I'm ready. I want to look at this house. I saw your sign in the yard, or I found you online, or whatever. I got your name from so-and-so, and I found the house I want to go look at. A lot of brokers would be like what we call in the past Pop-Tarts, right? They'll pop up and they'll go show the house. No, hold on, Seabiscuit. Slow down, player. Are you pre-approved? No. Okay. So the way my corporation works, the way my company works, the way my company is set up, we want to make sure, and we know what your bargaining position is, right? So we want to make sure that when you go out and find a house, that you're not looking for less than you can afford, or you're not looking above, the range that you would feel comfortable financially based on the lender having told you that. Let's find out where you are. Well, no, I want to see the house first. Okay, I'm not your girl. I lost a client like that. Well, I don't want to say I lost it, but he found me on YouTube, because I get a lot of clients from YouTube. That's why I keep telling you, get your YouTube channel, quit playing around. Call me from YouTube, said, I'm going to be in town I'm talking to you about a buyer consultation. I'm going to be in town this coming weekend. It was Monday that day that he called. And I want to know if you can take me around and show me the area. Okay, I can take you around and show you the area. It was his wife that reached out. I could take you around and show you the area. Do you have an agent? No. Okay, what are you looking for in an agent? They told me. What are you coming here to the area for? He told me. Now, y'all, I'm fun. I'm being serious right now, but I'm a lot of fun to work with, right? So we're having a great conversation. We're getting along well. Have you gotten a pre-approval letter? Yes. So they were already pre-approved. And even though I still try to see if I can get them a better rate, I said, okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to talk to you about an agency agreement. I normally don't do that with anybody. Right? I don't. It's just how, if I'm going to work with you and we're going to have fun, we're going to work together. And if you decide to leave and you leave, God, it wasn't for me. If you decide to stay, then it was for me, and we'll go under agency when it's time to write your offer. But something told me something ain't clean in the milk. These people want to waste some time. So I said, well, listen, what I'm going to do is, because you're coming from out of town, I need to send you over agency agreement. Oh, okay. Well, that'll be fine. We'll be on the lookout for it. No, nothing. No back flat, nothing. I get an email that says, or a voicemail, maybe we were a little overzealous. We don't want to sign anything. We just want to go riding around. That's called a field trip, right? And I never liked kids' field trips, right? Even though I love being with my kids, but y'all know how field trips can be, right? I don't go on adult field trips, right? So they decided not to work with me because they didn't want to sign the agency agreement. But the thing was, I was glad that I had spent all that time online with them, asking all the questions, finding out what they wanted, seeing what was important to them. But I found out also that they weren't serious about my time, although I was serious about their time, because I would have ridden them from here to Wilmington. It wouldn't have mattered to me. But you're going to do it under an agency agreement if I'm not confident in us working together. So when you're doing your consultations, put together for your clients 10 questions that you're going to ask them, no matter what your product or service is. Let's talk about weight loss products. So if someone calls you and tells you, and you sell weight loss, that's your business, right? And they tell you they want to lose 20 pounds, you're going to ask them, what medications are you on? Do you work out? What do you eat? Are you really ready to lose the weight? Why? Because if I sell somebody a weight loss tea that's going to help you lose 5 pounds in 5 days, but you have 40 pounds to lose, and you don't want to change your eating, you don't want to drink extra water, you don't want to move for 20 or 30 minutes, I'm doing you a disservice. The 5 pounds is great, but you're not going to lose the other 35, and you're going to gain the 5 back plus some if you don't have, if you're not committed. Right. So no matter what it is we're doing, we have to ask questions. Y'all need to put this laptop down. YouTube, I'm going to sit y'all down for a second. Okay, my arm was getting tired. So let's start there. So if you're just joining us, I'm only going to be about 5 to 10 more minutes. Hey, Latoya, something else I want to share with you. Just go out and get started. Right? Just go out and get started. When I was thinking about it before we came on here to go live, when Abraham left his home, the Lord told him, Abraham, I need you to go out to a land you don't know, leave your mother and father's house and everything that you know, and go to a land that I will show you. Go to a place I will show you, right? So many people would be like, nah, God, you got to show me first, right? I need to see, give me a glimpse. Y'all gonna Gideonize God. What do I mean? Make it wet on this side, make it dry on that side, make it wet and dry, make it all wet, make it all dry. Like we're gonna Gideonize God, right? And Abraham never asked God that. He packed everything up and he left and he went out. And what happened? God gave him his promise, right? Over time, after God worked some things out in him, he gave Abraham the promise and changed his name, right? Well, changed his name from Abram to Abraham, right? The same thing with his son Isaac. When he told Isaac to go out, he told Isaac where to go. He said, don't go down there where there's a famine in the land. See, sometimes we don't listen to God. We want to go, and we go out to the wrong place. He said, don't go down there. There's a famine in the land. Go over here, right? Go over to this place. And so we have to listen carefully and intentionally to the instruction that God gives us to just go out and get started, right? Don't wait. Don't delay. Don't say, well, you know what? I got to have a website. I got to have this thing set up. I got to have that thing set up. I need customers. I need clients. You don't need anything. You need obedience, right? You need to just go ahead and get it done. So I want to encourage you, for all of you that are new in business, just starting business, or working on building and scaling your business, go back to your past clients, right? The people you forgot about, we're all guilty of it. The people we hadn't talked to since Jesus was a baby, go back to those clients and do business. I don't know why I'm telling y'all this. Go back to do, because it wasn't on my notes for today, in my mental notes, right? Go back to do business. Go back and ask them for referrals. All the money and the success that we need oftentimes is in relationships that we already have. We don't have to go out and reinvent the wheel. And every single day, we don't have to go out and find a new client. Do we use and maximize what we already have around us, right? So those are the things I wanted to share with you. I do want to just ask if there are any questions. Like if you have a business challenge that you have a question of or a question about, I want to wait just a few minutes, like maybe 5 minutes, to see if I can answer any questions. Not that if I don't know the answer, I'm going to tell you I don't know the answer, right? But just to answer any questions you might have about business or a challenge that you might be having in business. So while I'm waiting on a question to pop up to see if you all have any, yesterday, where my office is located, the hub for Fayetteville State, which is their entrepreneurship center, is at the opposite end of my shopping center. So I'm on the end by McAllister's Deli. They're all the way on the other end. So what they had yesterday was all the business students that they invited could come over there, meet the business owners in the shopping center, and then let us tell them one problem or one challenge that we had. And then from the one challenge that we had, they had to go put together a PowerPoint and then present the results, the solutions to the problems back to us, right? So I would encourage you, look for some young people, right? If you sometimes get stuck in trying to figure out, okay, well, how am I going to solve this problem? Or how should I go about the solution? Because sometimes we can get lost in the sauce and bogged down in the details. Right? How can I have somebody else's opinion that's free? Because when people call you and tell you, can I pick your brain? I'm not that person that's like, hey, here's an invoice to pick my brain. I'm not that person. You can call me and ask me questions anytime. You can message me. I'm going to answer. It's not about money for me, because the Lord is going to bless me with money. I want to answer the questions, right? So when we get there, I have a group of students that's about 10 or 12 of them, and they are a trip, right? College students are a trip. And they were so cute and sweet and funny and snarky all at the same time. And it was the girls against the boys, right? I don't even know why I'm telling this story, but nevertheless, so they put together a solution for what I did was I told them I wanted to know how to hire better talent, how to hire more realtors, even though I wasn't looking to hire realtors. Unless you're great, then hey, I'm open to it. But I said I was looking to hire realtors that were not scared, had hustle, had a need, because if you hire somebody for your team that doesn't have a need for money, then they're not going to do anything, right? Because they don't need, when they flip the switch for the lights to come on, they're not hungry when they open the refrigerator. So therefore that person's not going to be hungry for sales, right? They put together a presentation and it was so good, right? So then what the center does is they email me the solutions that the students came up with so I can use that in my business. So what did it bless me with? It blessed them to connect with an entrepreneur and a tenured entrepreneur. I gave them tips. I talked to them. I said, hey, come connect with me. Anything you need help with, let me know. But it also added value to me because they gave me ideas I could put into place in my business. So put together focus groups for your business, right? If you're wondering how can you get new ideas, fresh ideas, put together a group of friends and just say, hey, you guys, can we jump on a call and bounce ideas off of one another? You got to do that in business because a lot of times, hey, Paula, a lot of times you'll feel like you're on an island by yourself if you don't have anybody to bounce ideas off of. And see, in my office, I'm by myself, right? Even though I have brokers and I'm like, hey, y'all can come use my office. I tell my business friends, hey, when I'm here, you can come use my office. Don't come over here trying to talk my head off. We're here to work, right? People want to have water cooler conversation. And so, but a lot of times, who do I have as a fellow professional to bounce ideas off of? I got you guys, right? I could easily pop on here and say, Lakita, what do you think about this? Latoya, what do you think about that? TJ, what do you think about this? Paula, we can post questions, right? So whenever you get stuck in your business and you just feel like it's not fresh, right? Or you need some new ideas or a new viewpoint or a new way of seeing things, create a focus group. Right. And then last thing I'm going to close on, get a YouTube channel. If you own a business and you're a kingdom entrepreneur, a marketplace minister, please get a YouTube channel. I'm going to say that probably every time we talk, maybe not every time because I might not remember every time, but get a YouTube channel. Why? Because you can control the content. I've said that 20 million times, but you can have multiple playlists for all your brands. You can have multiple playlists for all your businesses. You can practice with hashtags and build and grow an audience. You can share on Facebook at the same time you're selling on YouTube, sharing on YouTube. And literally, without exaggeration, I've sold 3 or 4 houses from YouTube, from clients that specifically went on YouTube. I don't know why they were on there, right? Because it still baffles me. But what happens is YouTube is watched more than all 3 or 2 or whatever the largest cable networks are in the entire country. YouTube is watched 3 times more than those networks. So what does that mean? That means that people aren't watching cable television. They're watching YouTube as their TV. You don't need me to tell you that because you're on YouTube watching. We watch YouTube TV every night, right? We're always picking up a movie or going to YouTube to find a movie, something to watch, Marvin and I. If it's not Netflix, it's that. If it's not that, it's Prime, right? So your clients are over on YouTube. So I've sold 3 or 4 houses from YouTube. Weight loss products. I've sold so many weight loss products, coaching packages, skincare and color cosmetics from YouTube, from my YouTube channel, from my playlist. And then I make about $100 a month just on YouTube, just from the little commissions that they send you from those ads that you can't control, those annoying ads that pop up. When you have 1,000 followers, they allow you to monetize your business. What happens is Google, and I'm going to shut up on this. Once you reach 1,000 subscribers, it's not automatic, right? You reached 1,000 subscribers, and then YouTube says you're eligible. They send you a Gmail email. You're eligible for a monetized account. So then you go in there, you set and create the account for YouTube or for Google, not YouTube, for Google. And then Google has to send you a code that allows you to monetize the account to get the check. So you set everything up, you put everything in, you make the request, and they send you literally, it's old school. They send you a postcard in the mail. The postcard has the code on it. You go to your Google account. They tell you where to put the code. And once you put the code in, you can monetize and start getting paid from your brand, from your YouTube channel. So when I got my first little check from YouTube, I think it was like $20. But on average, it's about $120 total, right? So how do you then grow an audience on YouTube? Teach. Hey, Dr. Tanoa, teach. Get on here and start teaching people whatever it is your service is. I'm going to pick, who can I see? I'm going to pick Lakita because I can see her first. And I know that she does internet, commercial, residential internet services. How could she teach that on YouTube? Well, as long as Spectrum doesn't mind, right? She doesn't even have to talk Spectrum. She could build her brand, Lakita Parker Smith. She could build and grow her brand. She could say, what are the benefits of our services? Why should you work with me? Why am I the cable queen, right? That's free, Lakita. Right? Why am I the expert in this field? Why should you come to me instead of somebody else? Why should you use my service over everybody else? What sets her apart? She could literally just start educating people and teaching people on the tips and tricks that they don't know about because they don't know the behind the scenes of Spectrum. She does. Right? Dr. Tanoa has a ministry that they've planted in Japan or Korea. I always get that wrong, right? and she's in North Dakota, right? But she and her husband are in ministry, and they're planning and building churches. They're getting ready to do a conference in Nashville, Tennessee, I think in July. I know you're wondering how I know that, because I was talking to Kanita about coming, right? Dr. Kanita. So they're going to be in Nashville in Tennessee, but Dr. Tanoa could be online educating people about her book, about everything that she knows and talks about planting a church in another country. She's in the U.S. I just said she's in North Dakota, right? Being a military spouse, being a what is it, officer, right, in the U.S. Air Force, and then how that transition or translated into being a mom and being a minister and being a pastor and being a prophetess, right? All these different things, but how does that start? She could do that and teach that on YouTube, right? Thank you for sharing that. So it's July 20th to the 23rd, the Book of Acts, Book of Acts Nation Ministry. And they're going to be doing a leadership and healing service in Nashville. I think that's what is that right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Tanoa. So if she wanted to promote that on YouTube and specifically for the Nashville, you can hashtag it like you can do everything else. And so one more point that I'll share, and then I'll be quiet if I have not made enough points, right? That YouTube has your clients, right? Maybe you're that person that's not scared to get on here and do video. You don't have to be live like I'm live over on YouTube. It took me building up a lot of courage to say, okay, I'm going to go live. Before I would just record and post the recording and hope people watched it. But then I realized that, what was I going to say? What's it called? Whatever the things that Facebook and YouTube and Instagram look at to determine where you fall and where you're placed, like analytics, right? I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for, but it loves lives, right? The analytics for Google, the analytics for YouTube, the analytics for Instagram, for Facebook, for so all social media, Twitter, LinkedIn, it loves live video. So whatever your product or service is, if you're going live and if algorithms, thank you, God bless it, Dana. I knew I was trying to say something, Dana. I couldn't get it out, right? The algorithms love live videos. The algorithms love videos. So if you're trying to get more posts and you're trying to gain more clients online, you've got to go live. You've got to do video. Not because I'm saying that it's the truth, right? So if you're trying to think of, okay, what am I going to get on here and talk about? What am I going to get on here and share? Do you know that you're interesting just how you are? Because I used to think, who's even going to listen, God? What do you want me to get on here and talk about? God said, just be yourself, right? So if you meet me in person, I'm exactly the same way in person. I'm probably funnier in person than I am online, right? But he said, just get on there and be yourself, right? So I want to encourage you and double dog, triple dog dare you to do a live video this week. People want to hear what you have to say. They want to know you, right? Think of all the people that we follow that we don't even know. And we believe that those are really their lives until it pops up that either somebody's killed somebody, somebody's dead, somebody's got found out for stealing money, right? You know what I mean? Like we follow all these people in their lives and think that their life that they portray is real, and come to find out it was just a facade, right? So the kingdom and marketplace ministry need more of us, representing more of God and more of Christ, so that we can lead people to, I said all that jokingly, but so we can lead people to Christ. So I didn't see any questions pop up. I'm going to go back through the chat one more time. But please go and create your YouTube channel. You're going to love me. Thank me later. Okay, so as the Lord leads, we'll go live again to be able to share. I hope you all have an incredible day. If you do have business questions or something pops up where you're like, Erlinda, I really need help with this, I do not mind answering that question. You can DM me on Facebook, here on YouTube. You can message me right in the comment section. It'll pop up and I'll answer. Okay, so God bless you guys. I love you. I hope you all have an incredible day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, YouTube. God bless you guys. Thank you for watching.